West Period. I'm an artist, rapper, singer, producer. I make rap, hip hop. It's like a blend of everything, pop punk, a bunch of different influences. I've like grown up kind of listening to every type of music, so I feel like at this point it's like hard for me to even pinpoint exactly what it is. I feel like I'm trying to make something new. I kind of consider my starting point the 8th grade talent show. So I've been making music since I was like 14 years old. And yeah, I found like a beat on this website called SoundClick back in the day, and that's kind of where everyone would get their beats from, right? And wrote like these bars, and like spent like 2 weeks writing writing this song, getting ready for the talent show. And I left my notebook on the bus, and so I lost all my bars and I didn't have them memorized. And then so I had to scramble and write like a whole new song in 2 days. So then that song ended up being all about how I lost the song that I was gonna rap. But yo, that shit, I shut it down. I remember I got a Zoo York shirt. It was like one of my first like skate brand t-shirts I got. I had a Zoo York shirt and a crooked hat that I still have to this day. And they wouldn't let us wear hats at school, but they let me wear a hat for the talent show. So yeah, that was my breakout. That was my breakout situation, 8th grade talent show, shut the shit down. So I've been doing it since then. Everything. Like, it's sort of the thing that gave me freedom to express myself in like a place where I could feel heard and understood. Like, I feel like I kind of tell people, like, when you make music or when you create art in general, it's sort of like putting out a beacon. Like, it's a little lighthouse, like, hey, we over here. If anybody's like me, like, I'm out here. And you kind of like create this community around people who are like-minded. And it's my therapy. It's really like everything to me, honestly. Life, all kinds of different things. Like, I think I like the random serendipitous moments. I don't know. Sometimes I can just be having a conversation and someone says a phrase and it just like sounds like a song to me, or like seeing certain things. Life in general just inspires me. And also really going back to just feeling heard. I think like growing up, I kind of felt like I was different than a lot of people, or maybe that I didn't relate as much to kids that I was growing up with. And so I feel like part of the drive that continues to make me want to make music and strive for it to be better is honestly like for the feeling of that connection, like ultimately being driven to connect with people in a way that's like a lot harder to do in real life. And music is this sort of crazy thing where like you can make one statement and connect with millions of people through that one thing. And honestly, the idea of accomplishing that is inspiring in itself to me. And at this point, like, that's really ultimately like what I think maybe drives me. Too much, bro. I'm passionate about everything. That's why I'm like passionate about being passionate. It's fucked up. So yeah, that's it. That everything. I'm passionate about a lot of stuff. Yeah. But let's just keep going. I'm passionate about everything. We could expound on that later. I'm sure all the things I'm passionate about are coming out in this anyway. Yo, okay, so there was like a long time where honestly I didn't like to do anything other than making music, to the point where it was probably like unhealthy. Like, I didn't have enough like other outlets. And so recently I just kind of been connecting to other things and getting back to like things that I used to like to do when I was a kid, and like they bring me joy. I feel like music is that thing, but also it's my job, and it's something that I do that's like it's my career, and I put so much pressure on myself with that because I love it so much and I take it so serious at times that like I needed more escape. So man, I build Legos. I'm a huge Lego fanatic. I've been getting into like toys, like Japanese vinyl toys and stuff. My homie Rocom's been putting me up on a bunch of stuff. And recently I realized that like I'm like a 101 nerd, bro, like all the way. Like I'm super into all the Marvel movies. I'm dummy into Star Wars. Like I probably watched like thousands of hours of Star Wars fan theory videos on YouTube, like thousands, bro. Like it's kind of weird. So I'm into real geeky shit, dude. Yeah, man, I went to a Lego convention by myself, like straight up, BritCon 2019 or 2019 in Burbank. Everybody that was there, stand up. Yeah, dude. I'm a nerd, bro. Big time geek. It's crazy. Man, it impacted me like honestly positively. Like I feel like it gave me a minute to slow down and really connect with myself, and it wasn't like all super enjoyable. I kind of knew that it was going to be a good thing, so the first couple weeks I was like, all right, we doing it, it's lit. And then I kind of hit this slump, and it was confusing, and I started like thinking about a lot of things from the past and like processing all kinds of things, and not all of it was easy, but when I came out of it I realized like that was sort of part of the process that was going to make it so beautiful. And it's given me a bunch of time to connect with my family, like just really reminded me what was important, and it was sort of like an automatic like bullshit filter. Like everything that didn't matter just kind of faded away. Like the people that, you know, aren't like real friends, you just stopped hearing from. Like now, and like that phone time is taking up our phone time with my mom and my aunt and like my brothers and my nephews and my nieces and talking to everybody. So it really like got me back to who I am, especially in a crazy city like LA. I feel like it was much needed. Man, I'm honestly super excited about it. I feel really good about the movement, and I feel like Black people are being heard in a way that it doesn't feel like they've ever been that we've ever been heard before ever. Obviously, the back-to-back deaths of Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd like was gut-wrenching, and it gutted me. I think it gutted a lot of people. But what's come from that already seems really, really, really powerful. And as a Black man, like the racism that I've experienced through life, and then also like getting into the music industry and stuff, it seems like something that's so easily swept under the rug. And I've been a person that's been vocal about it for a long time, since I've really like had an opportunity to sort of get in and understand the structures and how things work. I've been vocal about things. I'll damn near call myself a whistleblower to an extent about things that I've seen that are wrong with it. So honestly, like I'm very excited that it seems like people are finally like opening themselves up and maybe taking a step back to like really hear what they can do to change. And like it feels really good. It's some of the conversations that we're having right now are painful and awkward and hard, but I think ultimately like it feels really good to see Black people have the space to speak. Yeah. So I actually went to the first BLM protest in downtown on Wednesday, that first Wednesday after George Floyd was murdered. It was kind of a crazy thing. Like I like talked to the cameras at ABC and shit, and when they were out there, and like it was just sort of like a super serendipitous day, because I honestly, I think I had seen the video the day before, and so I woke up Wednesday morning pissed off at the world, and I had like a crazy like conversation with my manager and just was on some like fuck all white people shit, like just like losing it a little bit, because it was so traumatic, and it definitely sent me into like a bit of a spiral. So I was sitting at home and I was just at a loss, honestly, like what do I do? And it got to the point I had honestly went off on like 3 people in a row, and then I just melted, and I was just sitting in my room like bawling, crying, and I didn't know what to do. And just randomly I'm going through Instagram, like I kind of like got myself together, and I'm just like looking through Instagram, and I see that my friend had posted a video of the news, and there was protesters, and like that was it. And I hadn't seen anybody else on Instagram talking about it, and I don't have a regular like cable TV, so I didn't even know what was happening. I just saw that little clip, instantly text her like, hey, where does it look like that's at? She was like, somewhere in downtown around the 101. Boom. I just got in my car. No, I went downstairs, told my roommate, you got a poster board? I've never done anything like that, never been to like a protest like that. And I so you got a poster board? Boom, like grabbed a poster board, wrote no justice, no peace. Got in my car and just went to downtown, drove around, started looking for it. And I found it, went out there, joined my brothers and sisters, and it was just like one of the most amazing experiences. And then from there, like, I talked to the news cameras and got to say my piece. And I was super nervous that I was gonna look crazy, but like, it was pretty cool. Even like the people on the news were like, dang, like that dude, like, he said that, he was very well spoken and shit. And so that felt really good, because it was just this moment where I felt so unheard and so misunderstood, and like all the weight of sort of like my whole life of that type of stuff happening, turning into sort of like this instant moment where there was like this relief. And not only did I get to go out there, but I also got to get it off to like however many people were watching the news. My mom instantly called me and was like, you were just on the news. Like, I was like, yo, this is crazy. So it's been powerful. Then I went back out that Saturday, the weekend, where like we sort of saw, I heard somebody say like, I don't know, 4 days after George passed, that Saturday was like our version of Bloody Sunday, with like the level of police brutality that we saw out there, like during the uprisings and the protests. It was definitely a scary day to be out there. So I was out there then, and now I've gone to City Hall a couple times. So been trying to get as active as I can in that arena, but also falling back and doing a lot of studying at home and trying to understand like, how did this country get to that point? I think it's just as important as like being out there, At this point, I don't know exactly how it's gonna change the music industry. I hope that it changes the music industry for the better. I think it's been a long time coming. I think there's definitely ways to make changes like systematically, but I'm not exactly sure. I just hope that it's for the better. I think for me as a Black artist, I don't know if it necessarily changes anything, because it's something that I've always been aware of, that like, I think it's important for me as a Black artist to make sure that I'm a voice for that, and for people that are marginalized, and for people whose voices aren't heard, and to make sure that I continue to tell my unique story and my unique experience as a Black man in this world, because I think our stories are often so marginalized into just being certain specific things, and if you're not that, there's no place for you as a Black man here. And I think that, so to continue to tell my unique story, because the Black experience is so many different things, and it's so beautiful, and so just to continue to tell my story as that, and hope that it inspires people, So I don't know if it necessarily changes anything, but it's definitely a reminder to to continue to focus on that. Yeah, I got a few. I'll go in order. So I got one on my ankle that says SK. It stands for Stoop Kids. In high school, the group of kids that I used to hang out with, we used to call ourselves the Stoop Kids. And we're still like friends to this day, but we were like the weird kids. We listened to like hardcore music, and like I was a rapper, and like we were just like, yelling at people, playing like fucking, was it like Born of Osiris, like on a fucking boombox, like screaming at kids as they walk by. So we were the Stoop Kids. I got Fuck 'em on my middle finger. I got the Nirvana logo right here. I got that with my boy Jez. And then 100 Million, I got a Stick and Poke joint on my ribs. So yeah, I think that's it. Maybe the 100 Million, the Stick and Poke. Stick and Poke is really cool. It's a completely different experience than like a regular tattoo, or I don't know, like a tattoo with a gun. And like I was really afraid it was gonna hurt more than it did, but it damn near was like, it was different. Sort of how people say that like tattoos are like therapeutic form or whatever. I don't really experience that with like the gun, like the buzzy. That's not my energy, but like the Stick and Poke was definitely like, I don't know, I felt that energy more with that, so I like that. And also, it was like inspired by this song that I have called Big Bag, where I say 100 million on the line. And so, and then me and my boy Francois got that tattoo because we used to always say that. So we got the tattoo together before the song came out, and like the song came out and did really well for me. So it's sort of like a special thing. Okay, wait, my favorite song lyric? That's fucking hard, bro. I don't know my favorite, but an excerpt of one of my favorite verses is from Kanye West, Bring Me Down. And I think it's like, if you ever wanted to ever be anything, there'll always be somebody that'll shoot down any dream. There'll always be haters, that's the way it is. Hated niggas marry hated bitches and have hated kids. I just think that shit is just so fire. Like, self-explanatory, just motivating, a little petty, inspirational, all mixed in one. And that whole verse is fire. So that'll be my, that's like a hard question. You put me on the spot, but that's mine for this moment for sure. Man, it looks different ways, but when it's on, it's like extremely fast. If I'm jumping off the walls and being excited and shit, it's a lot. It's a lot. There's different modes. So sometimes it'll be like, sit down with the beat, write it out on paper, type it out. But then there's other moments where it's like, you know, they say like doctors have bad handwriting because like they think faster than they can write. Like that's how I feel about music sometimes. Like I just get so excited that I can't even slow down enough to write it down. And like that's when songs happen, like, you know, in like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And it's just sort of like a really like stream of consciousness, like visceral thing. That's like when the best records happen, for sure. Songwriter, amazing songwriter and producer who's passed now, Busby, who's a friend of mine and was a friend to a lot of people, was actually the first big producer that like I ever did a session with. And in that session, he was just such a cool dude and like really opened up to me and like gave me the time to like really like talk to me and give me some advice. And one of the things that he said, which is like simple but so powerful to this day, was just like, you'll always be the catalyst to your own success. And there's nothing truer that someone can tell you. And sort of like at the point that I was at in my life, that was really powerful to hear, because it was sort of when more, I guess, powerful people in the industry or whatever kind of started to take notice in me. And people really do promise you a lot of things that not only they won't deliver, they can't deliver. Like it's not even in their wheelhouse to be able to. So to hear from somebody that was already in a place that I wanted to be, like, hey, you know, I sort of took that as, don't believe any of these motherfuckers. Like, you're gonna, like, it's gonna be on you, and do it yourself. So that was really powerful. And I think about that all the time. And actually, before he passed away, like, we were at a songwriting camp in Nashville, and I got an opportunity to tell him that meant a lot to me. So it was really cool. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's hard. I think creating something that really cuts through the noise is difficult. There's so much music out there. There's so much just noise in general, content being created every day. So like creating things that mean something to people enough for them to want to come back to it in a space where, you know, like there's so many other people doing the same thing. It's like it's hard. It's sort of like a look in the mirror every day, because the opportunities are out there, and as much noise and as many things are being created, there's like just as much equal avenue for people to say that thing, like I like that one, like that's what I like, you know, like that's also an equal opportunity for everybody. So you know, waking up every day and being like, all right, like that thing was dope, and like it hit a certain amount of success, but you know what, like nothing else is stopping me besides me. So like, what do I need to do to fucking cut through even more next time, and cut through more the next time? And I think like that's the biggest challenge, because people could put marketing dollars into it, advertising dollars, ad spins, ad, like all of the playlists, all of this stuff, right? But I know people that have all of those things, and all of the money in the world behind them, and like it still doesn't work. And I know people that don't have any of that stuff, and it's just slowly going up and moving, you know? So I think just recognizing that, like, yo, cut all the noise out. There's nothing that the internet has made it to where it is really in the people's hands, like what's going to work and what's not. And so just remembering that every day and challenging yourself to like do better and cut through. I think that shit is hard sometimes. That's a hard thing to do. Yeah. What makes me really excited? Okay, yeah, I think this is like why I love music so much to this day after making it for so long, is that like making a good song makes me the most excited in the world. Like there's no feeling in. I was talking about this with somebody, like it's crazy, you know, I'm getting older, like I'm 29 and I'll make a record and I still jump up and down like I'm 12, dude. Like it's like, we're doing it all, like every day, you know, every time I make a song, it's the same feeling. It's like a magic trick that never gets old. It's like seeing the same magic trick every day, but it never gets old. It's crazy. So that's for sure the thing that like makes me the most excited. No cap, bro, racism, systematic racism, like straight up, it's crazy because, yeah, like I said, I've sort of had to deal with it in a different way than I ever have before in my life the last few years being in the industry, because it's there, but it's like very hidden, and like yeah, it's a conditioning thing that's happened over so much time, you know, that it's hard. People have blind spots and they don't see where the system is failing and where like it's really unfair for artists of color, honestly, like just in general, the marginalization into like being stuck in hip hop if that's not where they want to be, or if they're pop, they sort of can't have all the freedom that artists, like white artists get to have, you know, because it's like, okay, you're a black artist in pop, so like if you start putting 808s in your music, you can't be over here now, then we're gonna throw you over and rap again, you know what I mean? And like those sort of things are like really present, and music is my passion. I've been facing it, you know, on top of just regular life, getting pulled over by the police and all that bullshit. Like I've been facing it there, and that shit has made me dummy sad. Like really sad, because it was sort of like this disillusioned moment where you think that you get into the arts or whatever and it's gonna be what it's presented as, which is like all the wokest people in the world who just get everything, and like it's perfect over here, and like, you know, social justice utopia, and like honestly it's not what it is. Not all everywhere, and for sure not in all pockets of it. And like it's been something that, yeah, like I've spoken out a lot about over like the past year for sure, and that bums me out a lot. Definitely happy. I'm not one of those people I'm not one of those people that's like, oh yeah, give me the sad. Oh no, I can't like it doesn't work. Like when I'm sad, I don't want to do shit. Like when I'm sad, I'm like stuck, you know. So it's not inspiring to me at all. I can make a sad song when I'm happy, if that makes any sense, you know. Like I can like tap into those emotions being removed from them better than I can tap into those emotions like in the middle of them. It's a lot easier for me to say, oh yeah, like I know what that felt like. Here's the song about it, rather than like in the middle. I don't want to do shit, you know? So yeah. Oh man. This is like probably, okay, outside of like music equipment and shit, this is gonna show like how I'm like a sugar junkie. Probably like a spliff. I'm gonna need a couple probably. Definitely like a Red Bull. Oh, this is gross. I'm nasty. And and some Sour Patch Kids. Yeah, man. That's it. Yeah.
That's fire.
I know when. Okay. Like 4 or 5 years ago, I was living in this house and my house got broken into, and everybody's stuff, like all my stuff, a bunch of the roommates, like everybody's stuff got stolen, like laptops, money, jewelry, like everything, man. It was a crazy situation. And I have a laptop. I was engineering, like audio engineering for money at the time. So like I didn't have a laptop to make money. It was just like really dark. But I kind of started putting the pieces back together and moved out of the house. I was like super spooked and ended up moving into just like a studio, like a little studio lockout, like no windows. It was like 8x9 and had a futon in that thing, and would like, post ads on Craigslist and just like word of mouth record people, clean it up so nobody knew I was living in there during the day and then like sleeping there at night. And honestly, that was like the dopest time of my life. I met a bunch of people that are like still in my life to this day. And it was like a moment where I really tapped into what was important. And it was sort of like, I always think about, I don't know if it was I can't remember if it was in the Carter documentary or like his Behind the Music, but there's this story about Wayne where like one day he just like went through his notebook and he rapped like every bar that was in his notebook, and then they say he never wrote down another bar again. That was like his transformation moment. And then from there, that's when like everything started going crazy and he kind of like hit the next step. And so I sort of always thought about that laptop getting stolen because there was a ton of my music on it, a ton of other people's music. That's the thing I feel the most bad for. I'm not going to say no names, but sorry to everybody whose music got lost on that laptop. I kind of took that moment as like that moment for me where it was like, all right, like boom, that's gone. That music's never coming back. Like, time to level up. Like, I'm going to take this as a moment to say that wasn't going to be it anyway. Like, let's go. And I tapped in with God and really sort of got into my spiritual side at that point too. And that was for sure when I felt the most, probably that moment in time. It wasn't like one singular, like 15-minute span, but that sort of like 6 months after the computer got stolen, I got baptized, lived in the studio, and it was just like a beautiful, beautiful moment in time, like that 6 months to like a year period after that. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. Don't be in a rush and don't obsess over trying to get somewhere, because like, where is it that you're going? Be in love with the journey and like, and appreciate the moment and exactly where you are, and embrace that in a way where you're not afraid to put out music. I see so many artists that are like, young people ask me all the time, like, how do I think that they can, put their music out or get their music out? And I see, and it's like, they're not putting any music out for fear of being judged or whatever. So I just think like, enjoy where you are, be proud of where you are, and like, that'll constantly push you forward. If you're bummed about not being somewhere, or you're worried about getting to the next level and not being with the level that you're on, like you'll never go anywhere. You got to take one step at a time. So yeah, just do that. Okay, so I just did man, there's a bunch of music coming out. I've been making some of like the dopest music of my life. So I got a ton of singles coming out, possibly a little surprise project that I've been working on. So yeah, everybody's just gonna have to stay tuned. Yeah.
Amazing.
Hell yeah.
Well, that's it, bro.
Alright, dope. Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
That was real as fuck.
Kill that shit.
Hey, thanks, man.
Yeah,
thanks for
course.
talking to me.